Okay, I think it's time for me to start both engines up. Right now the front's running and the back isn't. I'm gonna start it up, see what happens. This is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today I am taking off the intakes on each engine. This is the front one. This is the back one, and I'm taking out my injectors for cleaning. Why? Because I think I blew up my engine at Hoonigan because of injectors. That is my theory why that happened. So right here is my piston that I melted at Hoonigan. Long story short, I've never melted a piston. And I do not think it was tune related whatsoever because I haven't had a problem from the start. So I'm thinking that it was a bad injector, that one was not spraying in what it was told to spray in. I think it was spraying less, just a little bit less to make it lean. So basically, the more fuel you have, this is just generically speaking, the more fuel you have, the cooler it runs. Let's just say that. And as the one was spraying little bits of fuel and making a very lean condition, hot condition, melting condition. Yeah, that's my theory. So I'm going to take them both apart and get them cleaned. I got new fuel filters, good ones, very good ones. I'll show you. As you can see down here, I've got a Holly filter, and they are apparently very good. They go really fine, so it can clean out all the crap for the injectors. So yeah, this year I'm going better on my fuel system because I don't want to deal with that if I don't have to. But not a big deal that I blew that engine, not at all. Not at all, but still, if it can be prevented from an electrical issue rather than a tune and beating the crap out of it. It also could have been because that engine's a little bit higher compression, but not anything crazy. The reason why I say that is compression makes heat. The higher the compression, the more heat for the same amount of pressures from the turbo or just idling even. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna put these injectors into a bag. So I have those 6 marked, and I'm gonna tell them, make sure they're staying in the same spot. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So I'm gonna put them in a different bag. So it's gonna be 6 and 6, and then I'm gonna make another bag because I have 2 extras, and I'm gonna get them to flow test them all and make sure they don't lose track of where they were. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have an issue on this intake because that's what I think made it lean out. So I'm guessing that one of these is fairly clogged and needs cleaning. So they're gonna flow test it, test for the flow that it's getting right now. And if it's way off from the other injectors, it needs cleaned and retested, obviously. And if it doesn't get close, you need a spare. So that's why I always have some extras just in case, because bad things can happen, right? Another thing, so I just checked my intake and all my cold pipes from my turbo, and they are covered in oil. I knew that turbo was blown, but I didn't realize, like, you stick your finger in the intake and you're getting covered in oil. So, not good. It's fairly oily in there, a lot more oily than I would want it, but learning all the time. Anyways, I'm going to have to clean that.
Right now I'm moving the fuel rail from the front engine's intake and then removing the injectors. Got to make sure everything stays clean. I've got cardboard out, making sure nothing gets in there. It's a really messy job, and made sure to wear gloves because fuel in your hand is not good, and also having the door open for good ventilation so you're not getting stoned off all that fuel gases. You know what I'm saying?
I've got everything in bags on the front engine intake, all wrapped up nice, everything's numbered. And then I've got all my parts here. And now I'm gonna move on to the rear intake. This is the issue, guaranteed. Still working off the floor. Gotta keep it gangster. Anyways, this is the fuel rail all wrapped up. The injectors are out. I've got them all numbered. And I've got these ones all numbered too. So this one has an F on it. And then when you open it, it says which one was in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Made sure everything was numbered properly. And I made sure it's not gonna like fall around and stuff. I want to be able to identify that 100%. So what I am going to do is tell them, all right guys, I suspect a bad one in this pack. In all these 6, one of them screwed up. This is what I'm predicting. Tell me which one it was, and then I will look to see which piston I fried. I forget what it is. I melted the 3rd piston in the rear engine, so I'm suspecting that this injector, since it says 3, I'm suspecting this injector is either bad or really clogged. That's what I suspect. So I thought I'd fill you in on that. I am putting my foot down. That is what I think happened right since last August. That was the last time I drove the car. So I really want to find out what happened. Not just be like, oh, I melted a piston. I want to know why. When things happen like this, I'm determined to find why it happened, because when it's happening, you only have those chances to learn from it. So when I'm blowing things up, I'm learning so much because I'm figuring out what to do to make the fastest car possible and what to do to treat everything right and have things reliable. But yeah, I'm not very good at keeping things reliable because I beat on it, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm learning every step of the way. So here we are. Tomorrow I'm going to bring these all in, get them to flow test them, and then tell me which ones were low, which ones were high, whatever. I'm assuming number 3 is gonna have an issue, and I won't be surprised if there's more than one issue. And I'll let you know what happened and if the injectors were a problem or not. Very interesting topic. All right, I am back from the injector clinic, and they gave me a sweet deal. So thanks to them, it was KW injectors. One of the injectors was bad. It turned out to be shooting 50% less fuel in that cylinder. So yes, I was correct. That is why the piston melted. So that is good. Now I know it wasn't my tune. So what I'm gonna do now is install everything back in. I've got everything numbered on the actual sides of the injectors. That one's number 4, and so on throughout the whole thing. And I'm gonna put them in the exact same spot, but I'm gonna put my new one. So I had 2 spares, and this is one of the spares, and the spares checked out good. So I'm going to replace that with the 3rd onto the rear one. So I'm gonna throw it back in, put the intakes on. I got E85 today. We're closing down on all the little things that I need to do to get this car on the road. And last night, I also got the seats in, seat belts in. I've been doing a lot of off-camera stuff to get ahead, but I'm thinking today is the day, guys. I had a wound of fuel line, so I just shoved one end in, unspooled it a little bit so I can spool it back up, and I'm getting all the pump gas out of it because now I've got my E85 back, so I'm gonna throw that in after I empty it. I've just got to do this a few times, get the rest of that, like about a liter out, and then I'm good to go for the E85. Just pretty much empty. That's good enough for now. I'm going to now put some E85 in it. Woo! I've also got some foam for my front fuel tank. I'm gonna throw it in, but I gotta cut it because this is for a larger fuel tank. But this is gonna work awesome. I had some in this tank before, but long story short, I got a whole bunch of rubber in it, so I need to replace it, and I'm going to do that right now. The whole purpose of this is so the fuel has something to grab when it's in the tank. So when I'm in a corner or pulling a lot of G's going forward, it's actually gonna stay stationary or close to stationary instead of having it slosh all over the place and maybe take all the fluid away from the bottom of the tank, and then the pump would suck air, which would make the engine run lean, which is very bad. So this helps you from running lean with low fuel in your tank. Just kind of squeezing it and shoving it in, being as careful as I can be without tearing anything or falling apart. There. Sweet. Back in action. A couple reasons why I run E85, and one is because it actually makes the engine run much cooler, and another reason is because it helps with pre-detonation, which you don't want, especially when you're at high RPM and in a lot of load. That's what usually grenades engines, so it's a lot nicer for tuning, runs a lot cooler. Another advantage of it is it smells great, which everybody loves the smell of E85. Just throwing in the wideband for the first time in the new pipe for the roof. Throttle cable back on. Now I'm taking off the old trans mount and I installed a new one. It was actually off the Red Ted. All right, I've been doing a whole bunch of little stuff. So now I've got the computer out and I'm going to put in a tune that I had before I went to Hoonigan. Because before I went to Hoonigan, I had everything dialed right in. And I basically went to Cali and went to start my car and it would barely even run because it was so far away from where I tuned the car, so the tune was way off, so I needed to add a bunch of fuel. So anyways, I'm gonna go backtrack before August, pump that tune onto the back engine, pump the front engine tune onto the front engine that was tuned on E85, and then I'm gonna fire it up and see how it does run. I'm pretty sure it will run pretty good if I find the right tune. So I just gotta do some looking through some files now. All right, now I'm gonna close the hatch for the first time. I haven't put the firewall in yet, but so now I can actually have the exhaust not be vented into the car like it was before, right off the turbo. I've got my tune on from July 30th. I believe that was before Hoonigan. So I'm gonna try that one, fire it up, see what happens. All right, here we go. Not bad, not bad. She's running on corn, baby. Right on. She's running on E85. Sounds pretty good. So now I'm gonna let it get up to temp, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of tuning, get it dialed right in, and I'm gonna do the same to the front right now. This is also the first time I fired up my gauges. This one specifically, the AEM one. I hooked up a new wideband sensor, so I'm gonna see if it's working, and it looks like it's gonna go. Yep, it's working. Awesome. She's running a little rich. That's fine. She's warming up. That's what she's meant to do. Also, my computer is talking to my gauge, which is a plus. That's always good to have for when the tune's communicating with the actual dash. And as I can see, the temp is working also. It's slowly climbing. There, yep, already at 73, dope. Now I'm going to set up the front engine one, get the tune from July on it, and then see how it runs also. This is so exciting. Like, I love having everything done and then just turning the key and driving it. The only thing I need to do, hopefully, is put tires on it, and then I'm gonna send it tomorrow. All right, I'm firing up the front engine's tune, and then I'm gonna change it, like I said. If you're asking why am I not using my touchscreen dash, it's because I don't have the old tunes on it. I've got all that memory on my computer, so once I have it on to this computer, which is in the trunk, and then when I plug it into the touchscreen dash, it will then have it, because it is an existing tune, and I will save it onto the touchscreen dash. Right now I'm cruising through all my tune points. So every time I open and close the Tuner Studio, it will do an auto save. So here's July 29. I'm gonna try that one. That's the same I did on the front or on the rear engine. So I'm thinking that it'll be very close or similar to the same time that I needed and had this thing straight off of the dyno. I pretty much dynoed this thing, drove it around once to the track, and then I went to tuning it basically. So I need to find that point in time that I was in between going to the track in California, because I really wrecked the tune because I had to coordinate for the different pressures in California. So that tune, I don't even care about the California one, but I really need to find this tune. I got her loaded up. I'm gonna give her a shot. Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. I think my battery died. Now that was really interesting. I checked the voltage on the battery while the rear engine was running, which has the alternator, the only alternator in this car, actually. And it was reading 12, which is no good. It's supposed to be around 13 plus. And I couldn't get it to go. Long story short, the alternator didn't start charging until I revved it up. I have a really small pulley on the crank, so everything's spinning a bit slower. And with the dead battery, it's kind of affecting giving enough power to the alternator to give it a chance to start. So now I'm good, and I'm at 14 volts at idle, which is sick. So now I'm continuing with the front. I got that tune into the front, so I'm gonna give her a shot. Hopefully the battery's not gonna kill itself this time. Okay, let's try that again. I don't know what happened. It's trying to start, but it won't fully turn over, so I'm gonna give it some more air on the throttle body by opening this screw. I let the battery charge for a while, and in the meantime, I installed some dirty tires onto my drift wheels. So these are some Blizzaks that I pulled off of a customer's tire setup, and they were actually like pretty good. So there's probably like 30% tread left, but like all I care is that they're soft, and they're soft, so it'll be mint in the snow. All right, so I'm gonna try and start the front engine up first this time, just to see. No, it wanted to go. Maybe it needs some throttle. Yeah, I'm gonna give it some throttle. I don't want to sit on my seat because it's so clean. All right, here we go. All right, I give it a touch more fuel. Let's see how that went. There we go. we go. There we go. The front engine is running, and so does the back. They're not running at the same time, but wow. Rated turbo on there. Oh yeah, that's sick. All right, I'm gonna see if the tune's good. I'm gonna fart around with that a bit, just so it'll restart on me. Next time I try and start it up, gotta open the door. But yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Gave it a little bit of fuel, and I gave it a little bit more idle, and she's purred like a kitty, man. I'm so glad I got my E85. I missed it. Makes it sound deep and like such a race car, man. It sounds like a race car. Okay, I think it's time for me to start both engines up. Right now the front's running and the back isn't. I'm gonna start it up, see what happens. Just like that. That, my friend, is magic. E85 engines are so cool. As you now see, it's starting to steam. This is not smoke. This is steam because there's so much water in the fuel. It's literally steam. Fog the camera. So anyways, both are running, both are tuned pretty good, enough to drive, that's for sure. I am pumped. And in the next episode, me, Tom, and Locke are going to be sending this car. It involves a snowboard, tires that are for winter, a twin engine mx3, and snow. You can't miss it. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day. This is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.